Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we're going to push on as promised with our Biscuit. Yes, the ground and structure work for our second level of the 20,000 bricks under the sea cabinet, and I'm hoping to finish off all this rock work here, get everything back in the cabinet, and well, get it largely finished. Alright, well, as ever, let's start with a few amendments. And I'm not going to give out a bedoying for the one that I kind of hinted at, but everyone agreed with, which was moving the submarine that be in dock from bay number 3 to bay number 2. So I've done that now, and there's no one in the cockpit there. It's just docked waiting to go. It may have to have its arm bent down quite a bit for the glass doors to close, but I think that's all right. And it does give us this view of the backdrop a lot better. So I've swapped the glass windows onto this bit and the green lights to show that it's vacant and so on, and swapped everything else around. So I think that's looking good. So that one probably doesn't earn a bedoying, but ones that do include adding a few bones around the entrance of the giant eel's cave, who's kind of hiding at the moment behind this dolphin, looking very sinister. I had actually thought of that, but then I forgot, so it was a good reminder. So I won't do that right now because we're going to be moving the Biscuit around today quite a bit. But when it goes in position, I'm going to add a few bones, like he's been at these dolphins before. Poor things. And talking of the eel, I've also changed the eyes again. This is another one of my ones, actually, from the trans yellow to the spring green color, and maybe that makes it look a bit more like he's kind of blind, living deep in caves and can't really see in normal light, and maybe he's just hunting using sound or vibration, who knows. But I think that makes him look a little bit more sinister, if anything, because he's kind of dead-eyed. So I like that one. That's one of mine. Another one of yours was to try using orange clips up here to hold these fish in the kelp or the seaweed here, and I can't make up my mind really. I mean, it hides well against the actual fish bodies themselves, but then the orange itself is a bit more visible as a clip than the dark grey was, so you have to let me know if you prefer that, but it's a good subtle change and a good idea. Another subtle but good idea was using 1x1 round studs with the hole in to mount these friends, and there's one down there, that little fish there, friends kind of accessories for under the sea, because they're on quite a tall stick and it makes them look a lot less natural. So adding the little hollow studded round plate means that, well, you can recess it a lot more, and that does look a lot better. So I've done that on all of the ones that I've used, well, 4 or so of them anyway, on here. So that one's good as well. Now, the best one, though, I think, was a suggestion that this whole sort of structure here of the rocks looked a little bit wrong, a bit too thin on the cave roof. So somebody suggested that I made it look a lot more chunky and then maybe moved the foot up just one brick, and I think that is better, and I've done that, as you can see, and it does look a lot more sturdy. So I like that a great deal. So that definitely earns a bedoying. And then one that I finally got around to sorting out on the Seabed Speedster was just to flip round the propellers, so it had the X bit at the back, and then I can use one of these 1x1s with the bar sticking out the top to go into the X and create some bubbles coming out the back of both of those, and that is a lot less impact than having whole big bars running through the whole lot and using a lot of hollow ones. So yeah, that's a really good idea, prompted by quite a few people who wanted me to get it just right. So, very good. Thanks to all of you who made those suggestions. Right, now I'm going to do the rock face now, and I'm going to start by flipping this whole thing around and working on the back side, because I need to do what is kind of a bit of a valley trench just behind here. Can you still see my finger? And finish that off. But it also needs quite a bit of support work, kind of a lattice of rainbow coloured bricks, just to basically support the next level that's going on top, because this is going to get quite high to echo what's in the backdrop of kind of a mountain that goes up towards the top right from the bottom left, if that makes sense. So I'm going to add the dolphin back, get this flipped, and get to work. Good, good. Well, this is the back view, and isn't it ugly? But not to worry, because no one will ever really see it. So this is the back of the kind of valley between the first bit that we finished already and the new section. And I do need to sort of patch up the little gaps in this so it's flush with the back glass of the cabinet, and fill in all the details in here because we still want it to be full of sea life and plants and all the rest of it. So that is one job. Another one is to get the support structure, as I said, into this space, kind of filling up all of this to reach up to the top so we can push down the burps and all the other bricks that are going to be making the sort of crown, if you will, of the top of this section. And then we'll finish up this side wall just in case it ever gets exposed by moving the chest of drawers or something like that, thinking ahead. And some bright spark pointed out that the rock should arguably go all the way to the bottom rather be sat on the sand layer and the sort of dark sand layer that is present on the front. And yes, you're technically right, but it looks very pretty the way I've done it. So yeah, too late to change that, I guess. So yeah, I'm going to push on with that. Well, this back section may be unglamorous and, well, rarely seen, but it is important to get all the edges right. So I finished off a kind of valley in between the two large rock faces. I've decorated the inside of the valley with all sorts of bricks, studs on the side, textured bricks, growth, seaweed pieces and all the rest of it. And I've tried to put the seaweed on lots of different angles. So basically when it's up against the glass, we'll be able to see a lot of those in profile, and it should make it look like it goes off into the distance. So hopefully that looks good. We'll find out when we turn it around, won't we? But yeah, odd bit of brightness in there as well. And a clamshell at the top, just behind there. And talking of brightness, here is our rainbow brick that you won't be able to see from the front. Just use any old colours that are available and plentiful when doing something like this. And you won't see it, first of all, because of our huge sidewall in grey, using pretty much all of that huge amount of cheap 1x2x2 bricks that I got on a brick all the way back. So I might actually need more of those. Thought I'd overdone it. And they're supporting this 6x16 plate and 1x16 brick, which should support the next section of burps, where it's all going to start coming in to a point. So you can see I've got one on the wall side, I'm going to have one in this gap here, we've got a corner one here, and then two of these pointed ones in old dark grey back to back to start bringing it in to a sub point there. Oh, so hopefully all that looks good from the front as well. It's a bit hard to work like this, you can't keep flipping it around, but we have got a sturdy base. And talking of bases, actually, I have got the one tall plate, I suppose I'll call it, 2x2 round stanchion for the next section of our base support. And I've just made this to get the spacing right. That if that goes on there and that goes on there, whoops, just snapped in me demonstrating it, you get the idea, then it's in the right place. So it is a very, very small column indeed, being only one plate deep compared with the other ones. But that is it in the right place. So I can't build any rocks on top of that, or our base will not fit once everything needs to go in. Oh, right, let's flip this around. See how it looks from the front. Well, all right. That valley is looking pretty good if you ask me. Yeah, continuing the theme up. It'll look even better when I've got rid of these coral pillars and replaced them with the flamish yellowish orange that I prefer for this section. And I'll just take this off. Now we've proved the spacing just so we can see it a little bit better. Yeah, it's got a nice sort of natural cleft in between it. And then I've added just a few more bricks onto the back section, so you can start to see what I'm doing here, just bringing everything back into a kind of point. I don't want to go too pointy at the very top because I don't want to conceal the backdrop, which looks very pretty, and there's kind of a hole in the rock that's in the picture of the backdrop, so I don't want to conceal that particularly. And also I want to have another kind of kelp forest on the very top, I think, but with longer pieces. I'm going to use all these Friends pieces as another kelp forest kind of right up here, and I'm thinking that one of our submarines that is based here, what have we got? We've got claws, jaws and saws. Oh no, bores, claws and saws. Yeah, one of those three can be kind of pushing through the kelp and held up here, because the problem with the cabinet, if there is one, is that there's a very large space in between the surface level with all the ships on and this first level, which is kind of good because it gives you a lot of backdrop to look at and a lot of the feeling of space of the underwater scene. But it hasn't got much stuff in it. So if I can suspend a submarine kind of pushing through all of this about here, then I think that'll be really good. But first of all, we need to build up the rest of this slope up here. And I'm figuring that this kind of flat area here needs something of interest. So I figure I'm going to do another one of my sort of shoals of fish. A really big one, probably using my most plentiful fish, these silver ones up there. So yeah, I'll get on with that, bringing in the rest of the slope to an end. Oh, hard work, but it's looking really nice. I think you'll agree. Well, I'm continuing to make slow progress. We've got this kind of sub peak kind of finished, I think. And then we've got a little bit of a gap again before the next one. Got some interesting pieces here, like this 6 tall slope and another arch piece and so on. And we're disguising the burps rather well, apart from probably this one, which has still got to be decorated. But I don't think you can see that there's about 4 more burps in that section. And this incredibly flat wall part with all the clips all over it is soon going to be covered with fish. So that will be disguised as well. But yeah, I think it's looking really nice. And you'll actually be able to see this bit from all angles. So that is good. Cool. Let's get some fish on and check it out. And there's a nice shoal of fish. It looks kind of a bit messy at first glance because they're all swimming in different directions. But I've kind of tried to do it that the background fish, the majority are all swimming to the left. And then there's kind of a beginning of a counterflow of ones that have turned around and started going the opposite direction, having seen something. And they're kind of stepping out a little bit from the surface. So hopefully from different angles, like that one, you'll be able to see what's going on. It's a nice flash of silver, and it's definitely quite interesting on the backdrop. I might add a lot more, I don't know, but I'm going up sort of one stage at a time, or I might even add a few more to the left to conceal that burp. But we're getting near the top now. In fact, I think this corner burp will be the final one, which will go about there. And you'll see here I've got a jumper plate, and that's because I'm going to go onto the 45-degree angle with some transparent bricks. And what I want to do with them is make a kind of tower to support that sub that has come from the station. It's going to be working up here, and then the bottom of the sub will be attached to the top of that, and hopefully I've left enough distance from the corner for it to fit in and balance properly, because it's not going to be incredibly well connected, but hopefully was there not being too much movement in the cabinet, it'll be able to stay in one place, because I don't want it tumbling down this hill taking everything else out. Cool. And then I can start thinking about adding all of the kelp pieces, the tall seagrass that it will be kind of pushing through. Oh, we're getting there. Well, I said I wanted a bit of height at this side, and dun 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 dun. Yeah, it keeps on going. Wow, though, check that out. We've got one of our 3 submarines, the one with the saw on the front, so that must be saws, on these clear bricks, having just sort of pushed through or kind of skimmed this really tall seagrass or kelp forest that's growing on the top of this corner. And wow, doesn't it look great above those fish that we did earlier? And I've put a lot more normal seaweed pieces on this bit and filled in most of it. I think I could probably add a little bit more, though I have added a nice sand coloured crab and a nice little clamshell with something in it. I don't know if that's the flesh of the clam itself or if that's actually a huge pearl. You'll have to decide. But yeah, that's looking really nice. Now, this has taken absolutely ages. I had hoped to get all the base intact and put the whole biscuit back into the cabinet today, but that's probably not going to happen. So yeah, that'll have to be next time, I guess, when we can really get this finished. And I may even add a little bit more life to this slope. But yeah, this has just taken so much time to get right and get supported properly and coming in at all sides, and to be nice and neat down this side, up there as well, because you will be able to see probably from about here up from the side of the cabinet as well, from the right hand side. So you know, it's visible 360 degrees, and hopefully we'll have slightly less reflection from those transparent bricks when it's in the cabinet, but who knows, there might even be more, mightn't it? At least it will be blue light. But yeah, I really like that. Oh, it's really nice when you have an idea and then at the end of a session it's actually manifested itself in 3D Lego bricks. But yeah, having a nice fish sort of scene underneath, nice shoal of fish, followed by this use of these pieces, which could have been a bit kind of twee and awkward if there weren't so many of them. But I think that looks quite realistic. Might even have to think of what could go on the top of them. Maybe a small flower piece, or maybe nothing. Maybe they're better as they are. Just let me know what you think about that, with those sort of stalks just sticking up there. But yeah, I like that scene. I'm very happy with it. Little Robin's happy with it. And I think with a little bit more blending in and putting the base in and everything, well, without being dropped into the cabinet next time, we will finally get to a completed scene. But I think the thing I like most about it is all that added height. Can't wait to see what it is and isn't blocking on our lovely backdrop. Have to wait till next time though. Well, a relatively short video this time, but only in video length, not in effort or in outcome indeed, because I'm very happy with the topping out of our wonderful big undersea slope for the main level of the cabinet. And I love the fact that we've got one of these submarines in a really good place out and about, so it won't be congesting our view lower down where Robin is if it was in dock. So yeah, that's looking really good, and we'll be able to see this, as I said, from all sides in the future, so it's a really nice scene to be able to see. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, well, maybe we'll be doing another session on this just to get it done. Because in about a week, I'm taking Mrs. Hood on a week's holiday, so you'll have to do without videos. And then usually I have my summer break around August as well. So I'm desperately trying to get all of this finished before those gaps in service. But anyway, there'll be a haul on Wednesday as well. So until all of that, see you! And we'll have to get Morris, the rare black sawfish, involved as well. Yeah.